Story time about how I found out my husband was cheating on me. My husband violently physically abused me. I left him after the fact I found out about all of the affairs he's been having for our entire marriage. And so I'm going to do a story time today on how I found out about all of the cheating. My husband and I started dating in 2019. Fast forward to 2020. I'm out of town for work for the weekend, and my husband goes to like a Western concert here in town. And my sister also happens to go to that concert, unbeknownst to my husband. He did not go alone. He took a date. And so my younger sister ended up seeing him making out with this girl at the venue. My husband then sees her because she approaches him when she sees him with another girl. And she was a minor at the time, tries to bribe her with alcohol to not tell me. Happy to report my sister took the booze and then still told me. Queen behavior. Comes back, tells me, he and I start arguing about it. He's denying it. I'm already heavily gaslit. And just being kind of emotionally and psychologically, like there's a lot going on already. So I'm, trying to hear him out. I want to believe him. That's the hard part too. When you love someone that much, love makes you blind. You want to believe them. After a few days, weeks, I don't know what it was. I believe my sister. I kick him out of my house because he lives with me. He has no money. So I kick him out of my house. I take a wonderful promotion. I move to Abilene. In that period of time, we'll do another story time on the love bombing, but he's trying very hard to get me back. Embarrassing, but I did get back with him. So we're dating. We're starting over from fresh. This is end of 2021. We start over from scratch. We're kind of dating again. I'm commuting back to the town that he lives in a lot, and I find out about another girl. She goes over to the house. I have a cheating story time up about her. She tells me, that she's been in the house. She's seen my things. I, again, send it to him, and I'm like, what is going on? He's like, no, that's before I started trying to pursue you again. That's in that period of time that you left, and I was hurting so bad because you were gone. As soon as I was with another girl, I realized it was you I needed. Anyways, so I knew about the cheating, and I, after months of him pursuing me, he assures me he's changed. He wants me, and he'll change. He'll do anything. And I believed him. I got back with him. Fast forward again, 2022. I don't remember why I was on Twitter. I wasn't a big Twitter user, but I'm scrolling on Twitter and I see a video of my husband, and it's on a girl's Twitter. She's getting off a plane on like a trip to Mexico, and my husband's in the background. This trip had happened the months prior. I just happened to be seeing it on Twitter. And so I send a screenshot to my husband. I'm like, why are you in this girl's video? Why are you in Cabo at the same time as her? And he gaslights me a lot, or he tells me a whole lie. I believe it. It was just crazy. These girls were there at the same time. We ended up getting dinner with him one night. He was there on a bachelor or boys trip or something. And again, love is blind. I believe him. I end up, you have a gross gut feeling from that. I do a deep dive later. I find out he was dating her. That was a trip he took her on. He paid for. He's been dating this young girl for a very long time. So I pack up my bags to leave again, and he catches me before I leave. Is not only very emotionally but manipulative, but physically. This happened, over a year ago. You're just finding out about it now. It was one mistake. I'm so sorry. Essentially kidnaps me, forces me to go on this very extended out of town trip with him, takes my phone, won't let me talk to my family or friends during that time. And I stayed. And that may sound crazy to you. It's crazy to me in hindsight. I just didn't feel like I had another choice at the time. So I stayed, ended up getting married to him. This whole time, I am hyper vigilant. I'm paranoid about him cheating on me. He's constantly reassuring me that he's not. So we get married in 2024, and, everything with the assault happened. I ended up leaving in January of this year, 2026. And after the fact, the floodgates kind of opened. One of my best friend, my very good friend, I met through my husband. She was friends with him first. And she was like, hey, the reason he beat me was because I saw a TikTok of one of his mistresses that led me to believe he might be cheating. So I approached him about it, and he curb stomped, beat the absolute shit out of me because of it. And so my friend knew this. I told her why he beat me, and she's like, So he's still lying to you. The fact that he's denying it while he's beating you and you're leaving is nuts, because he has been dating this girl a while. And here's kind of everything I know about her. And from there, that snowball just kept going. There were so many other women. A lot of people have been coming out now that I've left to tell me about what was going on. Unfortunately, I stayed when I was dating, so some of those people didn't feel comfortable telling me what they knew now that we were married, because they didn't. I will say I've never been the type of girl that, like, I'm not going to be mad at you for telling me the truth, right? Like, at the end of the day, I know who needs to be held accountable, and it's my absolute POS, soon-to-be ex-husband. But I get why people felt the way they did. I get why people waited to tell me. But I have found out so much. I don't know how he had time to be married to me. He had so many side pieces. But yeah, that's how I found out about the cheating. It did happen when we were dating. I truly believed with my entire heart, spirit, and soul that he had changed. He was willing to change for me, and that we were happily married and monogamous in our marriage, and that was not true. So, end of the day, love is blind. I am a lover girl, and I was so in love with my husband, and I wanted to believe him, and I was wrong. So, anyways, that's it for story time.
Story time on how my ex cheated on me with someone who was catfishing him as a girl on Discord. I'm gonna make the unnecessary details pretty short, but basically, him and I got together Halloween of 2024. I found out from his ex-girlfriend in January of 2024 that he had kissed another girl the night we got together. I didn't consider it cheating, but I was just very distraught that he had lied to me about it, and he just hid that from me. And the fact that I found out from his ex-girlfriend, who he'd been trying to pit me against for months, like, he made me hate her. Like, I hated her, and I'm so sorry, because I know you follow me and I love you, and I still cherish the favor that you did me by telling me. So I found out he kissed another girl on the same night he got with me, and I was just like, oh, like, that's kind of bones, like, that's a bit fucked up. So I ended up saying, hey, I want to go on a break, but I ended up getting back with him because I'm fucking stupid. So obviously my dumbass believes everything he says, and he's like, it didn't mean anything, I don't even know her. She went to his fucking school, obviously he fucking knew her. So whatever, me and him get back together after like a 2-day break because I'm fucking stupid and I didn't stop talking to him on the break, and I let him weasel his way back into my tiny fucking pea brain. So then we get back together. I'm still thinking about the fact that he kissed this girl, but it's not like something that's like keeping me up at night, but it's just always in the back of my head, because when you go back to someone after something like that, it never goes away, and you think it will, but it doesn't. So then him and I, still doing long distance because we're teenagers and we don't really have a choice, I ended up meeting his parents. His mom didn't really like me at first because I'm alternative and they're Eastern European, so it was kind of obvious that they wouldn't really like me because, you know, some of them can be pretty traditional with that type of stuff. They wouldn't really like the piercings or the tattoos. So his mother ends up inviting me over for a sleepover, and that was shocking to me because obviously she didn't fucking like me because of the way I looked. Like, she had explicitly said, she was like, she looks like one of the skeleton people. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Get over to his house. Sleepover's really good. His mom ends up giving me like Dior makeup, like YSL lipstick, like skincare and makeup bag, everything. So me and him start being able to see each other a lot more, and it's summer, and this is June 22nd. I vividly remember the day that I found out. June 22nd rolls around. I'm invited to a function with my friends at the beach, and not a lot of them were close friends, but some of them were very close friends, and I was like, yeah, like, this is gonna be so fun. Like, you can meet my kind of like more acquaintances of mine. He's like, you know what, me and you haven't been on a proper date. Like, we haven't gone out and we haven't done stuff, you know, like, we should go to dinner. And I was like, oh, like, that's really cute. Like, we haven't actually gone on a date. So I am at the beach with him. We ended up going home. It was a good day at the beach. It was a little awkward because he was just weird. It was a little awkward, like, with him meeting my friends. So we ended up going home, and then he's like, yeah, let's go to dinner. He takes me to a chicken bar that's across the street from my house. I was just like, okay, this is like the first proper date we're going on, and you took me to a restaurant that I could go to anytime I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, oh, like, you hyped it up a little bit much, but it's still really sweet because you're paying for my food. He was, in fact, not paying for my food, because when we got the bill, she asked, do you want to pay together or separately? And he looks at me, looks at the waitress, and goes, separately. Why are we here then? After that, he goes back to my house. He hops in the shower. He's watching a film with my parents while I'm in the shower, I think. Then we go into my room, watch another movie, just normal fucking boyfriend-girlfriend stuff, right? And he goes to sleep pretty early. And he didn't set his alarm because he had to get the bus, like, maybe I think at 11 or 12 the next day. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a good girlfriend and set his alarm for him. And he'd given me his password, which was fucking stupid, because why would you give your girlfriend your password if you're fucking cheating on her? So I open his phone, I set his alarm, and as I do that, I just get like this intuition for some reason. Like, I don't know why, but this is the one time that it literally like popped into my head. I just was like, check his camera roll for some reason. So I check his phone. I don't find anything too concerning at first. It's been about 2 minutes. Then I go into his camera roll and nothing. There's nothing in there that's like incriminating towards him. There's nothing in there that would make me be like, oh fuck, like he's cheating. Then I check his fucking recently deleted. And this is where everything goes downhill. Mind you, my dad was on a trip to South Africa and my mother is the heaviest sleeper in the world. She doesn't even wake up when the fire alarm goes off. So I knew this was going to be a screaming match. Like, I just knew I wasn't going to be able to keep my composure. So I had to prepare myself. Anyway, I'm sitting there. I go through his recently deleted. Tell me why I see some woman's fat fucking ass. And I don't mean fat in like a PHAT way. I mean it as in like, what the fuck way. Like, when I'm not trying to shame, but I was just so insulted because I was like, fuck, like that's how easy you are. Like, I was like, Jesus fuck, I was embarrassed for him. So I see this like ugly fucking ass in like granny panties and I was like, this has to be a joke. Like, this isn't some nude that someone sent him. Like, why would they be in his camera roll? And then I see another, and then I see another, and then picture this, okay, wait for this. Pretend this is a table. Pretend my hand is a table. Pretend someone's phone is on the table. Pretend these are fucking ass cheeks clapping off the fucking phone screen. That's what I see. I see a video of some girl plopping her fucking ass cheeks onto her phone camera. This is when I lost it. So then I call my best friend. I go into the kitchen. I call my best friend and I'm like, what the fuck do I do? I wake her up from her sleep, but girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. So I wake her up from her sleep. She's half asleep. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. She's just like, beat him up. I don't know. So naturally, that's what I do. I went back into my bedroom and I threw his phone, like, and it hit him in the face. Oopsie. And then he was sleeping with my favorite pillow. And I don't let anyone sleep with my favorite pillow, but he was hugging it as if he had done nothing wrong. Like, he was sleeping like a fucking baby, bro. It was so annoying. And so I rip this pillow from him and I just start like pummeling him in the face with it, like over and over again. And he wakes up, obviously. And he's like, what's wrong? What's going on? And I just like got so calm and I was like, just come into the kitchen. And he was like, okay, where's my phone? And I was like, I have it. Come into the kitchen. And his face, he went fucking green. Oh my God, it was magical. I wish I fucking recorded it. And like the color just drains from his face. And I don't say anything. And I'm just like, I just sit there for a minute and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is there nudes all up in your fucking camera roll? And first of all, he gets annoyed at me for going through his phone, which is justified if I didn't find anything. But I did find something that is completely worthy of me breaking up with you. But anyway, I ask him, why are these pictures in your phone? This man came up with the best story I've ever fucking heard. He says he was on Discord. Then he says, we were in a server, and so I don't know how Discord works. I've never been on it in my life. He said he was on a server with some people, and one of the people from the server texted him, and he couldn't tell from their profile if it was a guy or a girl. That's when I should have been like, okay, just stop talking. So he said he couldn't tell if it was a guy or a girl, and I was like, okay. And then he said we were talking about our interests and gym and sports and stuff, and he said that he sent that person progress pictures, like, but even though there wasn't any fucking progress being made. So when he sends them the shirtless picture, they apparently sent him nudes. And when I tell you, I knew immediately that this was full of shit because, first of all, these girls, it was not the same girl in all of these pictures in the video. It was complete, like, they were different weights, they were different shapes, they were different skin textures, different ethnicities. Like, one girl, like, she was really, really tan, another one was really, really pale, like, just completely different. So that's how I knew he was being catfish or whatever. I still don't know what the true story is. He never told me. I don't think I ever want to know. So he starts hysterically crying when I confront him. And I'm trying to hear him out because I'm a good person and I loved him. And then I said, why didn't you just block them? And you know what this motherfucker says to me? Looks me dead in the eyes and he goes, I don't know. I think it was just lust or something. Are you fucking kidding me? So then I have it on a voice memo. I might post it if anyone cares, but you can hear me being like, okay, we're done. No, you're done. He starts having a panic attack, asks me for an inhaler. What? No! Mind you, I knew where this fucking inhaler was, but did I give it to him? Not for about 5 minutes. I made him suffer. So he asked me for a quickie. I'm in the middle of my nap, and I made him nap on the floor. I didn't even give him a pillow. I gave him a blanket, and I was like, fend for yourself. Because I couldn't kick him out that early. Like, there was no way for him to even go where he needed to go, and my mom would have killed me. So I'm taking my nap, and he asked me for a fucking quickie. What? He asked me for a quickie. And I just, no. So anyway, then I kick him out like at maybe like 9 in the morning, and then we're still texting on and off. And then we end up just kind of eventually going no contact, and haven't heard from him since, really. So I end up texting his mother after we break up and telling her exactly what he did, and she said, I hope someone does the same thing to him. So yeah, that's how I found out he was cheating, and I still don't know what the context of those pictures were, and I don't think I want to.
My boyfriend got my little sister pregnant. Yeah, while we were dating. My little sister is 3 years younger than me, and we've always had a pretty tense relationship. And that's because she's always wanted to copy everything I do. And not just when she was really young, it still happens to this day. But she wasn't copying me in a way of like admiring me. She would copy me because she was in some kind of competition with me. Like whatever I did, she wanted to do it better. If I had an outfit, she wanted to wear the same one, but style it better. If I did an activity, she wanted to join the same one and be better at it than me. That's how it's been our entire life. And I very quickly noticed that when I started dating, she started flirting with all of my boyfriends, and not subtly. She'd be like, you know, imagine if we would have met first. Like, you probably would have been dating me. But obviously you can't because you're with my sister, but like, if you hadn't met her, right? That's weird. That's just so disrespectful. I would bring this up to her and tell her that it made me really uncomfortable and I thought that it was weird. She'd be like, oh my gosh, you're so dramatic. You're so jealous. And my parents would say the same thing. They're like, Kelsey, it's your little sister. What are you talking about? She's obviously joking. Sorry, I don't think that's funny. And I have a pretty good sense of humor, if I'm being honest. So it just got to the point that I stopped bringing the guys that I was dating around my family because it just wasn't worth the drama for me, which is really sad because I'm really close with my parents, but I knew that if we went to any family holiday, she was gonna be there and it was always gonna just start a fight. So I stayed away. Things changed when I started dating my most recent boyfriend because it started getting more serious. We were dating for over a year and I knew that I needed to bring him around my family because that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? Also, I stupidly thought that maybe somehow my sister had matured and wouldn't act up anymore, but I was wrong. The first time she met my boyfriend, one of the first things she said is she's like, oh my gosh, if Kels ever misbehaves or treats you wrong, just let me know. I'll fix it. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. I always have your back. I was like, this is weird. Like, this is just a weird conversation you're having. She was also just being really touchy with him, wanting to always sit by him, was grabbing his arm, laughing at all his jokes. She was flirting with him. Like, I know what flirting looks like, okay? And I know what her flirting looks like because she's my little sister and I've known her whole life. So I pull her aside and I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna do this, okay? We're not gonna continue to do this. I can't. I'm tired. You gotta just be normal and stop flirting with all my boyfriends. And again, she was like, oh my gosh, I did not realize how insecure you were. Like, it's actually really sad that I'm the younger sibling and I'm just so much more confident, so much more self-assured. Like, if you were acting like this with my boyfriends, I would not be upset at all. Okay, well, you've never had a boyfriend, and there's a reason for that. I'm just gonna put that out there. About a month after this initial meeting, my little sister calls me and tells me that she has amazing news and that she's actually gonna be moving states and moving to the city that my boyfriend and I live in. Great. I was so excited for that. And not only was she moving to our city, she was going to move into the same apartment complex that we lived in. Even better for me. So she moves to our city, moves into our apartment complex, and suddenly she needs help with absolutely everything. She doesn't have a car, so she needs to be driven everywhere. She needs help having everything built. She needs help with all the moving stuff. And guess who she asks for all of it? Yeah, you're right, my boyfriend. Coincidental? I think not. And it got to the point that they were hanging out and I didn't even know they were hanging out. He would get home and I'd be like, where were you? And he was like, I was with your sister. I was helping her do X, Y, Z. I was like, wait, what? What do you mean you were with my sister? Why didn't you tell me? And he's like, oh, I didn't think it was a big deal. She just needed a favor. And so I went to help out. Like, she lives in our building. No, okay? He was making it seem like it was innocent. It wasn't innocent. It gets to the point that this is the biggest issue in our relationship. We're constantly arguing about it, where I'm like, I want you to stop spending so much time with my sister because you already know the previous issues that are there. And he was like, it's your family. I'm just trying to be a good guy. I'm like, okay, sorry, your loyalty is to me and I'm asking you to establish this boundary and you won't do it and it's weird. And we were just going back and forth for weeks about it. Finally, one day, my little sister comes to my apartment while my boyfriend and I are watching a movie and she just looks so upset. And I'm like, what's wrong? Like, What is going on? And that's when she tells me that she is pregnant, which I'm shocked about because she just moved to the city. I didn't know she was dating anyone. The only guy that she's been hanging out with is my boyfriend. See, at the time I didn't put that together because I thought that there was no way that he would do that to me, but yeah, just wait. But the person who was even more shocked was my boyfriend. He looked like he was about to projectile vomit. I was like, wow, they obviously have gotten really close. He is really concerned about her. And that's when I start asking her, I was like, okay, who's the father? Whose baby are you having? And she gets really quiet. She's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't really want to tell you. I was like, why are you being weird about this? And obviously we know why she was being weird about this. Then she started looking at my boyfriend. She's like, I mean, like, are you going to tell her or am I? She fully came in here ready to expose him, and he had no idea. It was just all going down right there in my living room. So I look at him. He looks absolutely sick. I'm looking at her, and low-key, she's smirking a little bit. She's happy about this because, again, everything's a competition, and apparently she won. She took my man. That's what she wanted this whole time. And I look at him. I'm like, no, please tell me that she's lying. She's making this up. And he can't even get any words out. I can see it on his face that, yeah, it's him. He's the father of this baby. So I absolutely lose it. I'm like, what are you even talking about? And he has the audacity to say to me, well, I know I cheated, but I only half cheated because it's your sister. You shared DNA. So it's like, it's not as bad if I was cheating with someone else. It's like, it's half cheating. No, I'm sorry. What man logic is that? I cannot. It's way worse to cheat with somebody's sibling than with a stranger. So obviously I kick him out. I'm like, you have somewhere else to sleep in the exact same building, so don't even feel bad about it. I don't want to see your face ever again. I look at my sister, I'm like, I don't want to see your face ever again either. My ex-boyfriend is now texting me 24/7, apologizing, saying it was a mistake. It only happened once, which I don't believe based on how much time they spent together. And my family keeps texting me, it's your little sister, give her grace. People make mistakes. So people make mistakes? That was not a mistake. That was a betrayal. Haven't heard anything from my little sister though. Not one text, not one apology, because she's not sorry. She very much planned for this to happen. I know it. And I have absolutely no idea what's gonna happen next, but let me know if y'all wanna stay updated.
I found out that my husband and my best friend have been having an affair for the past 6 months, and I just found out on my fucking birthday. Yeah. I literally found out the day I was getting on a fucking plane to go to the Bahamas with my husband. Not the month before, not the week before, the literal fucking day I was gonna be mid-air over the fucking ocean. And we've had this trip planned for the past 3 fucking months. Okay. Anyways, I'll tell you the tea because, like, I'm still fucking laughing about this. So my best friend moved to my complexes in the townhouses that I live in, and I was literally so fucking excited because, like, who the fuck doesn't want to live in the same, area as their best fucking friend? So she was over all the fucking time. Dinner, like, wine nights, I mean, little girly, like, you know, sleepovers, you name it. These are all, like, little details that, like, add up to me now that I know, like, that this has been going on for the past 6 months. But, like, my husband always traveled a lot for work. Here recently, it was, like, more than ever, and he would, like, stay the night overnight at these places he was going out of town for business for. And it was just funny because every single time I would, like, ask my best friend to come over when he was out of town to, like, have a girls' night and, like, spend time with me while he's gone, she would always coincidentally be out of town as well. So, like, fucking weird, right? Yeah, well, you get where that shit's going. Anyway, so my fucking birthday was coming up, and my husband was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I've been out of town and haven't been able to spend time with you a lot here recently. Blah, blah, blah. Let's do a little birthday trip, spend some time together. Blah, fucking blah. So fucking Bahamas it was, and I booked everything in my name because it was on my Expedia app because I have, like, all the airline miles, like, linked to my Expedia app. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. But everything was, like, booked on his card. So, like, I didn't pay for shit. And I was literally so fucking excited to go. Like, I haven't been on a trip in years. And like I said, at this point, I didn't know anything was going on at this point. So I was excited to go and spend time with him. So that morning rolls around, okay? I get up early as fuck. We have a 7 a.m. flight. And just like any fucking girl, I check my Snapchat, I check social medias, whatnot, my Gmail, literally the second my fucking eyeballs open. So I have this Snapchat from this girl that I went to high school with, but, like, we're still really good friends. We just don't talk that often. But it's a fucking picture. It's not a picture, I'm sorry. It's a video of her sitting at a red light beside my husband with my best friend, and they're literally, like, tongue down each other's throats, okay? So, of course, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I can't even believe this is happening on my birthday. I literally wake up, it's my birthday. I'm literally about to go get on a 7 a.m. flight to fucking Bahamas. Like, I really wish this was a fucking joke right now. So here's what the fuck I did. Obviously, I get up way earlier than him. I have all my shit packed. I have everything ready to literally walk out the door. So I walk over to his side of the nightstand. I turn his alarm clock off, okay? And then I go downstairs, I get my shit together, I get in my car, pull out of the driveway, and I leave. I go straight to the fucking airport, I get on this flight to the Bahamas, and I go to the fucking Bahamas. And honestly, guys, I'm not opposed to doing shit by myself. To be quite honest, sometimes I would prefer to do shit by myself, and I was actually, like, sort of, I think I was in shock at this point, though, too, because, like, I almost, like, didn't feel anything. I was just like, well, I'm still going, fuck it. I shit you not, this man slept up until the time I was literally, like, midair over the ocean, like, 30 minutes from fucking landing, blowing my phone up. And obviously, I can't fucking answer. I'm on a plane, like, the fuck, dumb ass. And clearly, I couldn't respond until I got on the fucking ground, and I saw all these messages when I landed in the fucking Bahamas by myself. And, like, before I even boarded the plane, I literally sent him the video that my friend had sent me, because I knew, like, he would wake up and see it and whatnot, and I'd be, like I said, midair and not be able to fucking respond. And, of course, when I got down back on the ground, I turned my phone off airplane mode. He was blowing my shit up. He was like, that's not me. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, dude, I've been married to you for 6 fucking years, and you don't think I know what your face looks like, and you don't think I know what my best friend's face looks like that I've known my entire life, and especially with y'all, like, macking on each other? The fuck? I'm having the best fucking time of my life in the Bahamas, okay? I'm literally, like, so tipsy and shit-faced the whole entire time. And he's blowing my phone up. And not to mention, I forgot I had packed, like, a little goodie bag on the way there. Packed it in my suitcase, and it, like, had some toys, some other nasty things, a box of spicy cubes. I took my ass 2 fucking spicy cubes. I went to all the fucking night shenanigans that were happening at the fucking resort that night, and I literally was shaking my ass everywhere. I met this fine young Caribbean man, took his ass back to my room, and during all this, I was literally posting all this shit, like, on my stories. Like, I never blocked him on anything, because you best fucking believe you're gonna see me having a damn fucking good time in the fucking Bahamas by myself, like, with, like I said, these fine young Caribbean men. Like, the fuck? I mean, would anybody else do the same? Would you not go, or would you go? Like, I literally, like I said, just walked straight out of my house, and I had no second thoughts about it.
Story time of the most insane day of my life when the guy's girlfriend pulled up to the date and then she poured his drink on him because he was cheating on her. So I'm at this event and this guy pulls up his seat next to me. We start chit-chatting and start having some banter. And he basically suggests like, oh, like, let's go get dinner after this, which I couldn't. So then he takes my number and then we just schedule it for the next day. He seemed to have like similar sort of like creative passions as me. So I was kind of just like, let's hang and see what happens. The first hour was chill. We were just talking. He was like fully invested in whatever I was saying. And then I noticed his energy starts like shift a little. Like he keeps on checking his phone. I could just tell there was like some fishy sort of energy. This is usually something I would question them on, but I was just like, I don't really care. Like whatever you're doing. So we're at the dinner place and he tells me my ex is calling me. First of all, why are you telling me that? If my ex was calling me and I was out at dinner with someone, like I would not be mentioning that. Maybe I would go to the bathroom, like take a moment to process that. Again, typically if somebody told me this, I would be like WTF, but again, since I didn't really care, I was just like, oh haha, like you should call her back, like what does she want? Like he's like, no, like we literally haven't talked in months, like this is so crazy, whatever. And I'm just like, okay. So then 10 minutes later he gets a call from his friend and he's like, oh my god, she's calling my friend now, like she's like really trying to get a hold of me. To then, which again, I'm like, okay, then just call her back, bro, like maybe she needs something, like maybe it's an emergency. The moment he said my ex is crazy, I was just like, oh my god, how do you not know how that comes across to someone? You never call your ex crazy, even if they were crazy. You don't say that. Now you just sound like you did something to make them crazy, and now you just sound like you're trying to fucking lie, which yeah, of course he was. Of course he didn't do anything to make her crazy. She just so happens to be crazy. He's still being suspicious. He's still like checking his phone. I could just tell he's like on edge. Like some context. So at the dessert place that we were at, there's this other guy there that we both know. So we say hi to this guy, then we just like mind our own business. Out of literally nowhere, the corner of my eye, I see a woman bolting down towards our table, like in my peripheral vision. She sits on his lap and kisses him on the cheek, and I'm just like, I am just like in so much shock and disbelief that this woman looked really riled up, like really fucking riled up. Like, honestly, I wanted to make a joke in this situation, but I was scared. She looked like she was gonna do something like aggressive, which then she kind of did because she took his drink and she started like spilling it onto him. He was just like, stop, like you're embarrassing yourself. And she was like, I don't care, I'll make a scene here. Like, da-da-da. I'm just like, the drama is insane. And so then the guy previously that we both knew, he's like watching this interaction take place and he sees that I just look like uncomfortable. So he comes and pulls up a chair. She's still sitting on his lap and they're just like having a conversation. I look at the other guy and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is literally insane. I think that's his girlfriend. So I'm wearing my bindi and she's like, oh, you're Indian? And I was like, yeah. He's Pakistani. And she's like, oh, I thought you said you don't like Indians. I'm sure he's made like some sort of comment like that towards her in the past of just saying something negative about Indian girls or something. And then she unlocks her phone and she shows me a video of them like kissing, like from like a week ago. So obviously this is not his ex. We'll go to part 2 because it's getting too long.
Story time on how my ex-boyfriend cheated on me with his sister. Let's just get into it. So story starts and I'm dating this guy for like a year. We were the type of couple that was like, oh my god, like they're gonna last forever, like they're literally perfect. So he has a sister and she's like half a year younger than him. It's like not that crazy of an age difference, it's really close. So we all went to the same school and literally she hated me for no reason. Like her whole family loved me but her. First couple of months of us dating, like it was never like weird. I never had any suspicion. He was actually quite literally rude to his sister, so like I wouldn't ever think anything of it. I mean, no one really does that, so yeah. Anyways, this girl hated me for literally no reason, hated my guts, and talked bad about me around the whole entire school. But you know what? I let it slide because I loved his family and we were together, and I was like, why would I let your little sister stop me from dating you? I'm not gonna let that break us up. Anyways, that should have been my first red flag because he would tell me that I'm insane and I need to get over it. But yeah, that was really weird. Plus, my friends thought it was really weird, especially how he didn't really do anything. He just let it happen. So yeah, I should have took that as my first red flag because that's insane. You're not gonna do anything when your sister is bashing me around the whole entire school and to everybody. As time went on, like I would come over to their house and he was always like kind of weird with his sister. With his sister or not, he'd always make like really weird remarks about like how she looked and her body looked. It low-key kind of brushed me off like really weird, but I was like, okay, like that's his sister, like nothing weird like that, because who would think that you're banging your little sister? Not me. So one day I was planning on going to my friend's house and I told him, and he was like kind of being really weird about it. He was also just like a really controlling person. Like he would never let me hang out with my friends or anything or even go out. So I was just like, whatever. I didn't think much of it. We end up arguing and then I finally get to go because like he gets to go anywhere whenever he wants. So it's not really fair. So I was just hanging out with my friend in her bed and my boyfriend was just acting really weird. A weird that he's never acted before. Like he's like ghosting me and not talking to me. Just really weird. Something he never did before. It made me feel so weird. So in his neighborhood, there's like a park. And mind you, this was like 10 o'clock at night. So his location is set at the park for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, like whatever. He's probably just hanging out at the park. It just made me feel really weird because he was acting really weird. And it's just like, why are you acting like that? So after like 30 minutes, he was still at the park for like an hour. So he completely ghosted me. And I was like, you know what? Why don't we just walk to the park? So that's exactly what I did. Me and my friend walked to the park without him knowing, and I turned off my location. So we get to the park, and mind you, like you couldn't be able to see us. Like he wouldn't have been able to see us. It was so dark. So I was like, this is like low-key perfect. Like what if I catch him doing something? Like I didn't want to, but like I was like, you know what, for the plot. So as we get closer to the park, I hear talking and yeah. And it's a girl. So I look at my friend like, oh, heck. Soda, we get quiet and creep up on them. As I get close enough to see them, I see his sister and him. I see them doing something crazy that you should never do with your sister. You guys can kind of pick up what I'm putting down. So as soon as I see them, I immediately yelled out like, oh my God, and they immediately turned their head. And when I tell you, they were shaking. I can't even like tell you what I said. I was just like so disgusted. I was like, that's your sister. And he was saying the usual, like, it's not what you think, I promise, like, I can explain. His sister's just over there, like, shaking in her boots. I was just literally so disgusted, and I was like, oh, hell no, like, we're leaving right now. Because what does one do in that situation when you see your boyfriend doing a squirrel dance on his sister? Like, immediately broke up with him, and then after that, for months, he told people that I cheated on him. Low-key didn't tell people that he did the renegade on his sister because like that's crazy and I'm not that bad of a person, but you want to see that I cheated on her. Anyways guys, that's my lore. So follow me if you guys want more crazy story times because I have way more than this. So I love you guys so much. Bye. I'm tired of people treating me differently just because because I'm so pretty and funny and smart. It's like I was born this way.
All right, let's just do divorce affair story time. The reason why this is so hard to make this video, well, a lot of reasons why it's so hard, but I would say the biggest reason is because for the last 6 months, I have been trying to understand it. I've been trying to figure out like the what, and I still don't. I have a lot of clarity on a lot of things, and I've also come to accept that I won't understand a lot of it, and that's okay because my heart and my feelings can't understand those things, and I guess that's a good thing, but it is still hard to explain something that I'm still trying to understand myself, but I guess let's give it my best shot. So I guess honestly, there's a lot that I can backtrack and explain, but let's just talk about the most recent affair. So let's go back to April. Henry just turned 2. Me and Scotty just bought our first house, locked into a 30-year mortgage. Crazy things. So the moment that I can pinpoint of were there signs? This is the exact moment of I felt something was off. So the exact moment that I felt something shift in me, not in him, in me, was we were laying in bed. It was about like April, and he was telling me a story about someone at work, and he had said, I used to be such a bad guy. And I was laying on his chest, and like jokingly, in like a joking tone, I said, bad guy, like, but you're not a bad guy, right? Like, just like being playful, whatever. And as my head was on his chest, I felt like his heart rate change, and he said like, no, I'm not a bad guy. But when he said it, I heard his words, but I felt the way his like heart rate changed. And at the time, sorry, hold on. And at the time, I did not like think necessarily anything of it, but I just remember feeling panic. And I remember thinking there was something that I didn't know. And I didn't know the extent of that, but I just remember like in my gut, I just felt like something's gonna hurt me. And I didn't know why I felt that, because my brain and my heart like weren't matching up yet. It was just like, it's Scotty, like chill, like just calm down. And so I remember I said something to him. I was just like, oh, why did I just like get like a lot of anxiety when you said that? Like, is there something like I should be anxious about? Like trying to like just get reassurance for it. And of course he's just like, Jess, like you just probably have like a lot of anxiety. Like we just bought a house. Like, don't worry about it. Like you're like, just comforted me the way that he always did. Raised no suspicions, very quick with his like answers, very just, and I'm thinking to myself like, oh, like, why do I feel this way? But also like not thinking, why would he be lying to me? So I remember Scotty went to sleep and he's sleeping, and I was up all night like with the worst panic of my life. Like I remember just like having like a full panic attack and not knowing what was happening to me, and like not knowing why I'm feeling this way, but just knowing like something in you just like felt like something was coming, if that makes sense. So to answer a lot of your questions of were there signs in me, yes. In him, no. There was no pullback, no, he was the exact same, over the top, like picking me up, like just every moment, like writing me notes, saying how excited he was, like talking about like our future, like the house, like more kids, like everything was on paper perfect. But now I'm feeling just something is off in me. This like uneasy feeling went on for about a month, and now I'm starting to think like something's wrong with me. I'm starting to think, I mean, we used to live in Florida, so I'm talking to Scotty, I'm like, I think I'm depressed. I think that I have like something's not right with me. And I'm like, I think that I should see a psychiatrist and like talk to someone about this, because I can't, like this panic in me was just like overwhelming, that like it was unbearable. And nothing was adding up to why. Like I couldn't point to why I felt that way, because I have this perfect husband. We just bought a house. I have this perfect life. Like, why do I all of a sudden feel dread and panic and like doom? Scotty was such a good husband. He booked me a psychiatrist appointment. He found her. He booked it for me. Guys, like that's crazy. So I'm talking to this girl, and I'm telling her, I remember being in this appointment saying like, I don't understand, like my husband is so supportive of me, like just like bragging about my husband to the psychiatrist and trying to be like, do I have depression? Do I have anxiety? Like I just was like trying to figure it out, like could not get to the bottom of it. Gosh, see, this is the problem. I ramble. Like, why am I don't know how to shorten these things. Anyways, let's just fast forward through it. So I'm thinking something's wrong with me. Scotty's reassuring me. Of course, something's wrong with me. Reassuring me that something is wrong with me. But like making it be the perfect husband that is searching high and low to get me the answers and the help that I needed in this anxious time that was
happening suddenly. Bought the house. As you guys saw, I was spending a lot of time renovating the house. So me and Scotty, for like those couple weeks, we just like hadn't seen each other as much, and I missed him like a ton. I missed him so much. So I called my sister. I'm like, hey, can you watch Henry? And I asked Scotty, I'm like, let's order like pizza to the new house. We'll do like a date night, like painting, hanging out, eating pizza, and just spend time together while we renovate instead of being apart. Yeah, I was really excited. And I remember pulling up, he's mowing the lawn outside, and I run up and I give him a big hug, and I felt off again. I felt the same, like something's not right. But of course, his words, his excitement outwardly is the same that I've always seen. So I'm again confused, thinking, why am I feeling so anxious? And just truly thinking that something was wrong with me. And yeah, I felt so off, and he was so perfect that I thought that I was crazy because I didn't even think that it was him. Just remember I started sobbing. I just started crying, and I remember not knowing why, and I remember I think Scotty got like frustrated at me for like feeling like upset and like questioning like different things, like trying to like talk through like what it is, like is it us not spending time together, is it just trying to figure it out. But like he was getting defensive of me trying to figure it out, and it ended up in like a fight. Like we got into like a fight, well, not like a fight, like me just like sobbing and him leaving, which was weird, very weird. Oh my gosh. And I'm going to have to do a part 2 because I'm out of time. So part 2, where I left off, me and Scotty are in the house. We were having a date night. I have that anxiety, sinking feeling again, trying to talk it through with him, try and figure it out, because I can't live with this like doom feeling anymore. Like I needed help to figure out what was going on. I needed a solution. And I was just trying to like figure it out because I thought I was going crazy. And every time I bring it up to Scotty, he honestly reassures me that I'm going crazy. And so I remember we were upstairs in the playroom, and I'm like going through all these like scenarios of like what is going on. And I remember just like crying, and I didn't know why I was crying. I just couldn't stop crying. Like I think I was like almost like hyperventilate. Like I was having a panic attack crying. And I remember being mad at myself because I'm like, why am I ruining this date when I was so excited for it? And I remember being like inside disappointed in myself. Like I'm like the worst. Like I remember thinking like I'm the worst to be having these emotions right now for no reason. Like I was doing a lot of like it was a bad time for sure. But I just remember sobbing, asking him, is it like we're not spending enough time together? Like, I remember saying this, are you sure that you are happy with me? Which was weird because I didn't know why I asked that. He wasn't really like helping me, which felt weird. And I remember I was left we had like a little play couch in the playroom. I was left on the play couch crying, and Scotty just left. And he left to just go pick up Henry. It was almost like he was annoyed that I was feeling something. Like my feelings that I was trying to get to the bottom of were bothering him. And I was like the burden. And I felt that too. I truly felt like I was the burden for having emotions out of nowhere. And I felt like really guilty about it. And thought like, Jess, like you have this perfect husband. You're sitting in the playroom of your future house, and you're being dramatic. Anyone would be lucky to be in your position, and like, what are you doing? Like, I remember just feeling like so much like just like, what is, like, I'm such a problem right now, and just wanting, I don't know. So I remember that was a really, really heavy night. and it felt really heavy. I think I cried until probably like 1 a.m. I didn't even want to go home, just because every time I was around Scotty, it just almost felt like I would get more anxious. And honestly, at the time, it was because I think I thought that I was the problem. I think like I hated being the one that felt like she had a good thing and she was just not happy right now. And I'm like, why? I didn't know why. Yeah, so I blamed myself a lot for those feelings because I still didn't have, I never saw a reason to think that Scotty would have done anything, or was doing anything. Like, that was so crazy to me. So the next day, it was Saturday, and I woke up. I had slept in a little bit because I was up all night crying, and Scotty was putting Henry down for his first nap in Henry's room, and the week before, I needed to go pick up a light fixture from a girl on Facebook Marketplace. So I just got out of bed, tried to brush it off from the day before, get in my car, and I get a text from Scotty saying, hey, I think that I want to talk more after last night or something. And I remember just feeling like at my capacity. And I texted back saying, I think I need a little breather after yesterday. I don't know if I can handle like a big talk right now, if I'm being completely honest. Is there something that you want to say? Otherwise, can we just do that another time? He sent me this big long text saying how something's wrong with him, how he is having a hard time connecting. I remember it was like a long text, thinking and I remember he said, I think I'm a narcissist, and it was a lot. And I said, I don't think you're a narcissist. Like, if you were a narcissist, you wouldn't be able to like want to change, or like, I don't know, just I think that's something that I responded saying. I was really confused, like, where this is coming from. And then I remember like the next text was, no, Jess, you don't understand. I'm not a good person. And if you think that I'm doing something, you're probably right. Like, that's what he said. And then I remember just being like looking at that text and being like, what is he talking about? So at this point, I'm back. I'm in the house that we had just bought, standing by myself in an empty kitchen. And I remember texting back saying, what do you mean by whatever you said? And he said, I remember it, but it's like the emotional part of this, it's like blocking me from like saying it. So I think he just like reiterated and said again, whatever you think, it's probably true. And so then I remember staring at my phone thinking, okay, there's something I don't know. This is where that anxiety came from. My mind is going 1,000 places. The anxiety is very intense right now. I'm by myself in the kitchen. And I remember just like having panic and thinking like, okay, let me just text out, are you cheating on me? And once he responds no, like I'll like have like a lot more relief. Like I just remember like sending that as like a let's go worst case scenario, and then at least I can breathe through getting to what it is that he's talking about. Because even still in this moment, my brain could not think, you wouldn't do that. Not even to me, to Henry. I'm like really thinking like, we just got a house. Like he's talking about the future. Like this is my best friend. Like we've been together since we're 17. Like that wouldn't be it. So So I sent the text saying, "Are you cheating on me?" And I remember just like staring at the phone, waiting for like the relief. Just wait for the relief. And he said, "Yes." And I fell to the floor. Like my legs just gave out. And I just remember like screaming like, what? Like I just remember like nothing, and instantly nothing made sense anymore. And I'm standing in the house that is supposedly my future. And at that exact moment, it felt like my future was completely ripped away from me. Everything that I had ever loved, wanted, cherished was ripped away from me. And I'm gonna have to do another part. Part 3 of finding out about my husband's affair. Where I just left off was I had just gotten the text saying he was cheating on me. I'm fully alone, standing in what physically is my future, what I thought my future was gonna be. It's like when we bought that house, every room was like imagining Henry's siblings in this room. I'm designing the kitchen, like imagining like looking out the window to see Scotty playing with our kids in the backyard. It was just like everything planning into that house was just a physical place of what I thought my future was. And honestly feeling like everything that I had always wanted, I was finally there. When we got the house and when I was renovating the house, it just felt like everything I dreamt of, me and Scotty dreamt of together, like it really felt like we finally made it. I mean, we started dating at 17, so it's like dreaming about having a house and kids and everything. Like it felt like I was standing in where, like I was physically where we always dreamed of. I just was so happy. Just like thinking about how excited I was just for like what's going to be filled with and the memories that we would make as a family in it. And yeah, so when I was standing in the kitchen and I got that text saying that he was cheating on me, my literal world as I knew it just ended. Yeah, and like I said, I fell to the floor. I remember just thinking like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Like you're gonna wake up, like this can't be real. Begging myself to wake up just because I didn't want to be in this, I didn't want this to be reality, and it was, but it just felt so far off that I just was like, I couldn't process it. And I think that lasted for not very long, because then I remember very clearly getting up and like saying to myself, okay, like right now how I react is going to determine my future and Henry's future. I don't know what's going on, but whatever I choose, do I choose to stay with him? Do I choose not to? Is not only going to be my future, it's going to be Henry's future. So like, make sure you know this is what you're going to do, because you can't just out of emotion do something, because it's not just affecting me, it was affecting Henry. So like, I just remember like very clearly just like knowing whatever move I did, I needed to be 100% sure about. 5 minutes later, I like got off the floor and I called Scotty, because why are we texting about this? And I remember because Henry was still napping, and I just very calmly said, here's what we're gonna do. When Henry wakes up, can you get him dressed, bring him over to the new house? It was like warm outside this day. So I said, just get him dressed. We'll play with him outside for the rest of the day. No one's gonna say anything. We're gonna act like everything's fine because I don't want anyone reacting and crying and showing these emotions in front of Henry. Like, he's 2. He's not gonna understand, and he doesn't deserve to have to feel the weight of our emotions. And then once we put him down for bed tonight is when we'll obviously have to talk about everything. Yeah, and so I remember him and Henry coming to the house. He didn't say anything to me. And me and Henry just played outside, and I did what any mom would do, is just put on a face and be happy for him. And every time that he wasn't next to me, I just would break down. I remember I went upstairs to put something away, and I looked outside, and I just see Henry and Scotty playing out there, and I just lost it, because it's like I'm looking at what I just lost, and Henry doesn't know what he lost yet, and mourning it not for me but for both of us. And also still not understanding it, because I'm looking, it's really hard to put into words, because I don't know how to fully explain the feelings. It just was, it felt like I was mourning something even bigger than death, because it was everything. It wasn't just a person I loved died, which is what it felt like. Also, it felt like the person I loved for 11 years, in a sense, died. I don't even know how to put it into words. It just felt like everything that I cared about truly died. And even past, it's all of my favorite memories have always been with him, and it's it almost takes that away from you too. So it just it still is. It still is a lot to try to understand and feel. But I just remember it was a really heavy day. And again, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to put this stuff into words. So I know it's just a lot of just rambling, and probably not a lot of what you guys are even wanting to hear, but it's hard. It's so hard to put this stuff into words. I don't know. But anyways, so we got through that day, put Henry down, and then I'll do part 4 of when we sat down and had our talk. A lot of you guys were asking if Scotty tried to fight for me after I found out, and that's honestly the part that's going to be the hardest to talk about, because there's a lot of traumatic things in there. But yeah, I'm gonna get into all of that stuff next. It might take me a minute to make the rest of the parts, so just bear with me. Oh my gosh, this is so hard to talk about. I took a little bit of time. I told you guys in my last video that I was going to take a little bit of a break. This is really hard to talk about. You guys asked, how did I tell my family? And I didn't. I did not tell my family. 5 months ago, I was not able to talk about this at all. I just kind of disappeared. My friends kept reaching out to me. My family was calling me, and I would just, obviously I was running out of excuses of why I wasn't showing up to things. Everybody that was close to me knew something was really wrong, but every time I would pick up the phone to call anybody, I would just break down. And yeah, I just couldn't talk about it. And thank God my sister, she called all of my friends. She sat down with all my family members individually and explained and told them the whole story and everything, so that I didn't have to relive it all of those times. So the fact that I'm sitting here able to talk about it to all of you guys, I'm really proud of myself. I've come a really long way. There was a lot of times I didn't think that I was gonna be okay. That's why it took a little bit of time in between the last video and this one, just because it's hard to talk about one, but it's also hard to put into words. Here's the end of my ramble, because I'm sorry, I just do ramble a lot in these videos, but the purpose behind why I wanted to share my story, I've gone through this or experienced anything similar to what I'm talking about, you know that it's not uncommon to feel just really alone in all of it. Even when you have a big support system, it's one of those things that unless you've been through it, you can't really understand it. Like a really isolating feeling to feel like you're going through something alone that no one can understand. Gosh, I don't want to cry online, but this truly does like choke me up because it makes me feel like there's like a little bit of good in everything. So many of you guys have messaged me and I try to message back as many people as I can. Sometimes all you need is just someone that is going through it with you to just say, I understand, and you're gonna be okay. And it's not your fault, and there's nothing you could have done. That's like the purpose of why I wanted to start making these videos. So that's why the first 3 parts, I've tried to keep it as much of my feelings instead of dragging somebody through the mud, because at the end of the day, he will always be the father of my child, and my intention is never going to be to talk badly or down on him. Unfortunately, some of the things that I went through, I will have to like mention those things, but it's really hard to talk about this next part with figuring out how to talk about my experience and the things that I felt in a way that doesn't cross over that line. Also why this has taken me a little bit of time. If you've seen the first 3 parts, there's people that get mad at me for talking for so long. I am doing my best. I'm a nervous talker also, just in general. So this is like to the extreme. Nervous talking. All right, I mean, the fact that I've used up so much time already, let me just try and at least preface, and then I can start rolling in the next part. Me and Scotty haven't talked yet. Just the text message saying that he cheated on me. We get Henry down. He's sitting on the couch. This night is very blurry for me. I asked him, was it cheating or was it full cheating, if you know what I mean? There's nothing in me that would have believed any of this would happen, but I would have probably bet my life that he would not have full cheated. He did. He did full cheat. And I remember when I heard that, I just collapsed and I like went around the corner to the kitchen floor, and I like still to this day can just see the spot on the kitchen floor that I stared at for probably like 4 hours. Just crying and staring at this one spot on my floor by myself. And that was kind of like I just mentioned. I've never felt so alone. Just feel alone in your, like, I almost like just felt like I was alone, just like I didn't know me. Almost like I'm not even there. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's the most isolating, confusing feeling that I've ever felt in my entire life. And I just sat there, and Scotty didn't come over, didn't try and comfort me. I just sat there sobbing and just like, honestly, just in shock. A couple hours, Scotty went to the front door, and I remember me asking him if he wanted to be with me, which was like super weird. He just basically said that he was going to go on a walk, and when he came back, he would let me know if he wanted to fight for us, which is just like, it just felt so twisted. And I think that's where I'm going to leave this video. I know this is a lot of rambling, so just honestly, I'm sorry. I'll try and get going in the next parts, but yeah, I'm doing my best and I'm really sorry. I left off is I'm on the kitchen floor. Scotty just left to take a walk and decide if he wanted to be with me after I found out that he was cheating on me, which is just very odd. I think one of the things that shocked me the most, the love that you have for this person does not just stop, which is a very confusing feeling. I was basically living in what's called cognitive dissonance, and it's where your feelings and your experiences and your memories are so drastically different from now what you're living in, and your brain can't, they can't find a meeting point between the two. If you've been through this, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but I don't know how to put into words for those of you that haven't, and thank God. Just be glad that if you don't understand what I'm talking about, be freaking glad that you don't understand what I'm talking about. The best way that I can describe the feeling, you know those dreams that you have where something's happening and you're screaming, but no sound is coming out? That's like what everything feels like. It just feels like you're trying to scream, but you can't. But it's like a panic. It's kind of like a panic feeling. Came back from this walk where he was going to decide if he wanted to be with me. I'm on the kitchen floor and he comes back and he says, I want to be with you. I want to fight for our family. I want you. I want Henry. And I say nothing because I'm just confused. Why is he deciding this? Why is he the one making this decision? Why am I not the one making this decision? And that just felt so confusing. So I think I just was silent and I just was numb. I was really numb this night. I don't remember much else after that. I just remember going up to bed. He came in bed and usually we would cuddle. And so I was laying down and it was bizarre because he came up behind me and pulled me in to cuddle as the same thing that we've done. But it just was like, why are you doing that right now? But he was trying to act like nothing happened. And so I'm sobbing, obviously. I couldn't breathe crying, but trying to be quiet. I was trying to stop crying because I had been crying for all day at this point. Just remember Scotty saying, he's cuddling me and he goes, Jess, please stop. Just stop. Annoyed that I was crying. And it felt so cold and detached. And that was the first moment where I felt fear of, I don't know who you are. The person that I've been seeing for 11 years would never treat me and talk to me he wouldn't do any of this, but wouldn't respond to me broken and crying and in clear pain with annoyance. I just remember turning around and saying, who are you? And then I think I just got up and I was annoying him. So I think I spent the next couple hours just in the bathroom trying to quietly cry while he slept. That night I ended up falling asleep somehow. And I remember waking up in the morning and there was that split second where I just hoped that it was a dream. And then that realization of this actually happened hit me. And all I wanted to do was just go back to sleep so I didn't have to feel that pain again. But I obviously couldn't. And there was no shutting it off, but it was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt of just realizing that everything I loved is still gone. Everything that I wanted is still gone. My family. I still love him right now because you can't just turn that off. I knew one thing. I knew that I was going to do what I needed to do to heal from this. I still was in denial of the fact that I wanted to believe that we could heal from it. And I wanted to try and figure out if there was a way to do that, because I still couldn't understand that this was really him. I wanted to believe that the Scotty that I knew 2 days ago, I wanted to keep believing that he was the person that would never have done this, and trying to figure out any kind of excuse or reason to back up that Scotty that I thought I knew 2 days ago was still him, despite knowing everything that I just found out. I told him that I didn't know if I was going to be able to stay with him, but I would see. And I told him that I wasn't going to tell him what I needed. I wasn't going to coach him. I wasn't going to feed him the recipe of what to do. I was just going to see who he was, what this was, and I was going to just observe and figure out if I could heal myself in this or if I had to leave. Because I knew one thing, and that was that I was broken. Like, unrecognizably broken, and I still am really unrecognizably broken to what I used to be. But all I knew is that I, more than anything, I was going to get back myself, not just for me but for Henry, because I was not willing to let him lose me as a mom along with his family. And I guess that's gonna lead into the next part where I explain even more trauma, lies, and everything. I feel super uneasy in my gut. I found out that basically everything that was being told to me was still a lie. And during our trial separation, where I was gonna let myself really make the choice of if I'm gonna stay with him or not. Long story short, he left his Apple Watch, and I'd never gone through his phone ever before. I'd never gone through anything, but I saw a notification, and I opened it up, and yeah, I saw a lot of things that I'm not going to talk about, but that confirmed to me what I needed to do, which was choose myself. I was not going to be somebody that would stay in a relationship that didn't choose me fully, because I had always chose him fully. I wanted to walk out what I would want Henry to do, and showing him what is not okay and how you don't accept this kind of treatment. I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. I think that I'm going to close this chapter of talking about it. I hope that if you're going through anything like this, if you've been through anything like this, me talking about it helps you feel less alone. A big thing that I keep seeing in your messages is how you don't think you're going to be okay. You don't know how you're going to do it. You're going to feel that you're not okay for a really long time. You're not going to wake up one day and just be healed and be better. What's going to happen is every single day you're going to feel like crap. You're going to feel like you're drowning, and it's not going to be until you look back 6 months ago and think what you were doing then and what you're doing now, and how you felt about yourself then and how you feel about yourself now, that you'll be able to see how far you've come. And it's a slow, every single day, just choosing yourself, choosing to love yourself enough to not take that kind of treatment, to love yourself enough to know that if someone's not picking you, that you pick you. You pick you. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to know your 25-year life plan. You just need to get through today, and then you need to get through tomorrow. You're going to be stronger. It's not going to feel like you're strong. You're going to feel it freaking weaker than ever, but you will be okay, and you'll be stronger. And I'm here. I've gone through it, and if you want to message me, as much as it's helping you guys, messaging and talking to you guys about everything, it's helping me too. So I love you guys. I'm here. I've got this. Everything's going to be okay. Even if you don't believe it, I promise everything will be okay. That is the end of my story. And if I didn't say all the details, it's because I don't think we need the details. We don't need it. That's all.